Vignyasa Krama 108 asana sequence as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let us all now settle down and get ready for yoga. Bring our yoga mats down, apply vibhuti and kumkum, prepare our panchapatram and udani, the cup with the spoon with some water for the ritualistic cleansing. And let us all settle down onto the yoga mat in a comfortable cross-legged position as we are going to start the session very soon. As we all now settle down, let us start the session with the Sadguru Vandanam. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Place your hands in Atmanjali Mudra in front of your heart center. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space as we chant the Sadguru Vandanam.
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasudrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Next we will be chanting the Shiva Mula Mantra 11 times. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. All viewers, please chant the Shiva Mula Mantra internally.
Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. 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 Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha.
Now that we invoke the presence of Guru and Lord Shiva, let us perform the Tadvachamanam, the ritualistic cleansing. Keep your right hand in the Gokarana Mudra in the shape of a cow's ear. Then take an udani of water and pour it into your right palm. Each time the word Swadha is chanted, sip the water from the palm, as we are going to repeat this process thrice.
Om Atmatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Vidyatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Shivatattvam Shodhayami Swadha.
Now wash your hand with the water from the Panchapatram and wipe your lips twice with the bottom of the right thumb as we chant.
Om Ham Hridayaya Namaha.
Wash your hand again. With the index, middle and ring finger joined together, touch above the upper lip and below the lower lip. Wash your hand again. With the index finger and thumb together, touch the right nostril and the left nostril. And with the ring finger and thumb joined together, touch the right eye, the right ear and the left ear. Wash your hand again. With the little finger and thumb joined together, touch the navel, the right chest and the left chest. With all fingertips joined together, touch the crown of the head, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, and the heart center. Wash your hand again. Now place the right hand over top of the left and place both hands on top of the right thigh. Set the conscious resolution, the sankalpa, what you want to manifest today in Nithyananda Yoga, as we chant the sankalpa mantra.
ॐ ममोपात्त समस्त दुरितक्षयद्वारा भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव प्रीत्यर्थम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव प्रीत्यर्थम च अद्य पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायाम् अस्यां शुभदितौ पूर्ण आरोग्य युक्त दृढ़गात्र योग्य शरीर सिद्ध्यर्थम परमशिव शक्ति आविष्करणार्थम नित्यानंद योगाभ्यासं करिष्ये.
Now wash your hand once more with the water from the Panchapatam.
Om apaupasprishyam.
Now keep your Panchapatam and the knee aside, out of harm's way, so we can enter into the yoga practice. Let's start with the first asana, which is Sukhasana. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Keep your hands in Bindu Mudra with index fingers and thumb together and place them on top of the knees. Engage all three bandhas, the energy locks, as you contract the perineal region and pull it up in Mula Bandha, the root lock. Contract your stomach muscles and pull them in and up towards your spine in Uddiyana Bandha, the abdominal lock. And contract your throat muscles and tuck your chin to the chest, locking the throat in Jalandhara Bandha. Together they form Mahamudra Bandha, to which we are going to refer multiple times. Now, visualize Lord Shiva in your inner space and perform the Samana Kumbhaka, which is filling your stomach with prana and holding it there as you meditate on a flame being formed in your stomach and climbing up your spine. Internally chant the japa, Soham. Visualize it rotating around your throat as we perform the first asana of the sequence, Sukhasana.
Tat sukhasanam ityuktam ashaktas tat samacharet.
The next asana is Parvatasana. Now bring your legs into Padmasana by placing the feet on top of the opposite thighs. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra and raise them up above your head. Keep your elbows straight. Engage all three bandhas, Mahamudra Bandha, as you visualize yourself as Mount Kailash.
Atha vakshe mahadeva parvatasana mangalam.
Next up is Halipavasana. Now bring the soles of the feet together in front of your body as you interlace your fingers behind your back. Place your forehead down on the ground behind your heels as you engage all three bandhas and visualize Swamiji in your inner space while gazing at your nose.
Purava vidhiyahu me jano ubhay pagdali samputhano.
Next up is Nagipavasana. Now keep the soles of the feet together and cup your palms, making a hollow as you stretch your arms out in front of the feet, placing them down on the ground as you bring your forehead on the ground behind your heels. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as a snake. Engage all three bandhas.
Purava vidhi pariyagane nicho hanasyo lagai.
Next up is Kokilasana. Now hold the big toes with index and middle fingers in Prana Mudra. Then stretch your legs straight out and upwards as you cross them into Padmasana. Then lean forward and down onto your elbows. Engage all three bandhas and visualize yourself as a bird.
Athanyadasanam vakshe yena siddho bhave naraha.
Next up is Neti Asana. Now place one ankle on top of the opposite knee as you hold onto the opposite elbows. Start rotating your arms in a circle as you engage all three bandhas and gaze at your nose, visualizing Swamiji in your inner space.
Goda bhava badagi ashmahili soya dathicharna govar lauta parigulp samoya.
Next up is Gajrasana. Now press your hands into the ground and lift your hips up high. Then lower your chest and your head forward and down. As you scoop your body, visualize yourself as an elephant and perform Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha.
Nyubjam padagre bhumau gritva lambi bhuya mastakagre nidhaya.
Next up is Rikshasana. From the same position, alternate pressing the heel of one foot into the ground while lifting the other heel up. Visualize yourself as a bear as you perform Uddiyana Bandha, the stomach lock, and Mula Bandha, the root lock.
एकैकं पादमाकुञ्च्य गजासनं कुर्यात् वृक्षासनं भवति.
Now raise your body up onto the tips of the big toes, with all other toes raised off the ground if you can. Keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Engage the stomach lock and the root lock as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
केशेन पादयुगलं बद्ध्वा तिष्ठेत अधोमुखः.
Next up is the Urdhva Janukarana. Now stand in Adimandi position with your heels together, your toes pointing outwards and the knees bent. Place both hands at the chest and then rotate one knee up towards your chest, followed along by the respective hand, drawing circles on both sides again and again. Next up is Balalingasana. Now interlace your fingers from the outside in Sarva Shankari Mudra. Pull one knee up towards your chest. As you keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line, engage all three bandhas and visualize yourself holding a baby.
एकं जानुरस्यालिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
Next up is Padapittanasana. Now take one foot and pull it behind towards your buttocks, holding it with both hands. Keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Engage all three bandhas as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
स्थित्वैकस्मिन् पादतले कराभ्यां वेष्टयेत् तनुम्.
The next asana is Natarajasana. With the respective hand, hold onto the sole of one foot from the inside. Extend the other hand forward with index and thumb together in Bindu Mudra as you simultaneously lean forward and kick the back foot back and up. Visualize yourself as Lord Nataraja as you perform the Mula Bandha.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
The next asana is Balalingasana. Now interlace your fingers from the outside in and pull the other foot towards your chest. Visualize yourself caressing a baby.
एकं जानु उरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
Now pull the other foot behind towards your buttocks with both hands as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space, engaging all three bandhas in Padapittanasana on the other side.
स्थित्वैकस्मिन् पादतले कराभ्यां वेष्टयेत् तनुम्.
Now repeat Natarajasana on the other side, holding the sole of the foot, leaning forward with the hand extended in Bindu Mudra while visualizing yourself as Lord Nataraja.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Next up is Ardha Adhijita Karana. From Arimandi position, with the heels touching, toes pointing outwards and the knees bent, bring one foot behind the other with the toes down and the heel up. Now bring the left hand to the chest and swing the right hand back and forth like a pendulum. Gracefully move the fingers one by one. After some time, bring the hand over your nose, uncross your ankles and repeat the movement on the other side. We'll move on to the skeleton dance. Now, visualize yourself as a skeleton as you shake your body intensely. Hold the visualization of your bone structure as you shake your body wildly. This will bolt integrity into your very bone marrow. Next up is the Katichina Karana. From Arimandi position, heels together, toes pointing outwards and the knees bent. Bring your hands above your head and cross your hands with the palms facing backwards. Now open your hips to one side and open your arms wide above your head. Return to the center, cross your arms again and open to the other side. Repeat this movement again and again. The next asana is Tadasana. Now stand tall on the tips of your toes as you raise your hands up above your head. Engage all three bandhas. Visualize yourself as a palm tree. as you internally chant the new japa Shivoham.
महामुद्राबद्ध कोनो ताड़ासन विभेदकान.
From Tadasana, straight, lean forward and down and bring your hands flat to the ground. As you engage all three bandhas and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
महामुद्राबद्ध कोनो ताड़ासन विभेदकान.
Next up is Tadakshvasana. Keep your hands flat on the ground, shoulder width apart, as you extend your feet back into a plank position. Now contract the perineal region, tuck your chin to the chest and start rotating your head in a circle from side to side as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
गजासनवस्थित्वा मस्तकं वारं वारं दक्षिणकुक्षिं सव्यकुक्षिं नयेत्.
Next up is Bhujangasana. Now lower your entire body down onto your stomach as you keep the toes pointing backwards and your hands next to your chest. Raise your head up using the strength of your lower back. As you open your mouth wide, inhale through the hollow of your throat in Bhujangani Mudra and visualize yourself as a cobra engaging the Mula Bandha.
अंगुष्ठनाभिपर्यन्तम् अधोभूमौ विनिन्यसेत्.
Next up is Shashasana. From the plank position, as you push your body back up, alternate bringing one knee in towards your chest back and forth, while visualizing Swamiji in your inner space, breathing calmly in Sahajra Kumbhaka through your nose, leading the prana along your spine, and performing the Mula Bandha, the root lock.
गजासन संस्थितो जानुद्वयमाकुञ्च्य वारं वारं कर्तव्यं शिशासनं भवति.
Next up is Rathasana. From the plank position, step one foot in between the hands. Now jump the front foot back and exchange the position of your feet again and again while visualizing yourself as a chariot.
गजासन संस्थितो एकैकं पादं पुरोमार्गेण भ्रामयित्वा कर्तव्यं रथासनं भवति.
Next up is Viravatrasana. Now keep one foot flat on the ground with the toes pointing forwards and the knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Extend the other leg back with the knees straight, toes pointing outwards. Raise your arms up parallel. Contract the perineal region and pull the stomach in and up as you gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as Lord Virabhadra.
आशिष्टमथ कौण्डिन्यमूर्धकुक्कुटमेव च.
Now repeat Virabhadrasana on the other side.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यमूर्धकुक्कुटमेव च.
The next asana is Vrikshasana. Now stand and bring one foot to the inner thigh. As you keep your hands together in Anjali Mudra and raise them up above your head. Keep the elbows straight, head, neck and spine in a straight line. As you visualize yourself as a tree, performing Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha.
गरुडासनं वामोरुमूलदेशे च याम्यं पादं निधायतु.
The next asana is Garudasana. Now bring the raised foot to the opposite hip. As you bring your hands together in front of your heart center in Namaskara Mudra. Visualize yourself as Lord Garuda with your wings open wide. As you engage the Mula Bandha.
गरुडासनमावक्ष्ये येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत्.
Now repeat Vrikshasana on the other side. As you stand on the other leg, visualizing yourself as a tree.
वामोरुमूलदेशे च याम्यं पादं निधायतु.
Now bring the raised foot to the opposite hip, hands together in front of your heart center. Visualize yourself as Garuda in Garudasana on the other side.
गरुडासनमावक्ष्ये येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत्.
Next asana is Trikonasana. Stand and step one foot forward and the other one far back. Keep the front toes pointing forwards and the back toes facing sideways. Keep your arms parallel to the ground and then lean forward and down. As you gaze up towards the raised hand, visualize yourself as a triangle and perform the Mula Bandha.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Now exchange the position of your feet and repeat Trikonasana on the other side.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Next up is Nikuttaka Karana. From Adimandi position, heels together, toes pointing outwards and the knees bent. Raise one heel off the ground and place your hands in front of your heart center with the palms facing each other. Now stomp the raised heel to the ground, raise the other heel up and exchange the position of your hands again and again. Next up is Angushtasana. Now lower your entire body down onto the tips of the toes, placing your perineum onto the back of your heels. Keep your knees raised and together as you join your palms in Namaskara Mudra in front of your heart center. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space as you start buzzing like a bee on the inhalation and exhalation in Brahmari Kumbhaka. Perform the Mula Bandha and internally chant the new japa Sadashivoham.
कबन्धासनम् इत्याहुः गोरक्षासनमेव च.
Next up is Saudasana. From the same position, extend one foot forward with the heel down and the toes pointing up. Keep your hands at the side of your body, palms facing forward, fingers just touching the ground. In Vara Mudra, as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Mula Bandha.
प्रसार्यैकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य त्वेकपादकम्.
Next up is Vidhunanasana. From Saudasana, lean forward and down and hold onto the big toe of the front foot in Prana Mudra with index and middle finger. Hold the back heel with the other hand as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Mula Bandha.
गुल्भस्थितो पादमेकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संस्पृश्य तत्करेण.
Now exchange the position of your feet, stretch the other leg forward as you repeat Saudasana on the other side, palms facing forward on the ground beside you.
प्रसार्यैकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य त्वेकपादकम्.
Now lean forward and down, hold onto the big toe at front and the back heel. Repeating Vidhunanasana on the other side as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
गुल्भस्थितो पादमेकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संस्पृश्य तत्करेण.
The next asana is Brahmajadankushasana. As you keep your knees raised off the ground, keep a gap between the legs, place the back of your hands onto the knees and contract the perineal region and tuck your chin down to the chest as you gaze in between the hands in Shambhavi Mudra, eyes open wide, unblinking, gazing within as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Brahmari Kumbhaka buzzing like a bee.
दो फणा पानी होए वैसे एड़ी दो गुदानी वैसे.
Next up is Kapilasana. Now place your knees on the ground with the toes tucked behind and sit your perineum down on the heels. Keep your hands on top of the knees. As you pull your stomach in and up, contract the perineal region, gaze to your nose and visualize yourself as Sage Kapila Muni.
उभय भगदली समठहरावे तिनकी माहिली कोर मिलावे.
The next asana is Bhadrara Gurakasana. Maintain the same position, but shift your gaze to the third eye, visualization to Swamiji and the Bandha to the Mula Bandha.
दो भगदली संपुट करे कोरवारली भूपर इधरे.
Next up is Suryasana. Now sit with your toes tucked, your perineum placed on top of the raised heels. As you raise your knees off the ground, keep your knees wide and bring your thumbs and little fingers together in Padma Mudra, opening up the palms resembling a lotus flower. Raise your hands up above your head. Keep your elbows straight and gaze in between the gap of the palms as you visualize Lord Surya, the sun in your inner space.
एड़ी दो गुदातरी आने फना पानी बैठक पुनिठाने.
Next up is Mandukasana. Now sit with your toes flat, the perineum on the heels. Keep your hands on top of the knees as you lift your tongue up against the roof of your mouth in Manduki Mudra, visualizing yourself as a frog, catching the nectar of immortality dripping from the Sahasrara Chakra.
पादतलो पृष्ठदेशे अंगुष्ठे द्वे च संस्पृशेत्.
Next up is Uttana Mandukasana. As you maintain Mandukasana, place your hands behind your back, holding on to the opposite shoulders. Keep your elbows close to your head. Keep visualizing yourself as a frog, the tongue in Manduki Mudra, gazing to the third eye and performing Uddiyana Bandha, the stomach lock, and Mula Bandha, the root lock, as you breathe calmly through your nose in Sahadra Kumbhaka.
Mandukasana madhyastam kurparabhyam dhritam shiraha.
Next up is Simhasana. Now cross your ankles and sit on the feet as you keep your knees wide, fingers spread on top. Open your mouth wide, stick out your tongue and exhale forcefully as you gaze at the tip of the nose and visualize yourself as a lion.
Dakshinam savyagulphena dakshinena tateteram.
Next up is Bhadrasana. Now sit with your heels under the perineum, keep your knees wide, cross your hands behind your back and hold on to the big toes in Prana Mudra. Apply the Mula Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha. As you gaze to the tip of the nose, visualize Swamiji in your inner space and return to buzzing like a bee on the in and exhalation in Brahmari Kumbhaka.
Gulbhau tivrishena syadho vyutkramena samahitaha.
Next up is Kakabusandhi Asana. Now squat and keep the feet flat on the ground with the knees open wide. Bring your arms in and around the raised knees as you interlace your fingers behind your back in Padma Mudra if you can. Gaze to the tip of your nose, visualize yourself as a crow as you perform the Mula Bandha.
Prathame vaisaka ugadhathane dovu hathapagami cha ane.
Next up is Kanipavasana. Now place your palms on the floor, shoulder width apart, and bring your knees onto the back of your arms towards your armpits. Lean forward and down as you raise your feet off the ground and balance on your arms. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Mula Bandha.
Asana ko guna ashi dushata hoi to achi hoi.
The next asana is Kapali Asana, the first inverted posture of the sequence. If you have any neck or upper back injuries, please take precautions with any of the inverted postures. You can use a wall for support if needed. Now, place both hands on the ground, shoulder width apart. Bring the top of your head onto the ground as you form a triangle between your hands and your head. Bring your knees onto your elbows, then your hips aligned with the shoulders, and straighten your legs up. Gaze to the nose. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Mula Bandha as you do so.
Shishi shisha dharti tegi pagdo miliba ucha kukare.
Gently lower your backs down as you move on to Parshvamayurasana. Now squat on the toes with the legs together, twist your body and place both hands to one side as you align your elbows with the hip and the knee. Now lean onto your arms and balance, extending the legs to the side, gazing to your third eye as you visualize yourself as a peacock and perform a Rechaka Kumbhaka, exhaling all the air from your stomach and holding your breath in the exhaled state.
Majuram dandavat kuryan majuram dandanamakam.
Now twist your body in the other direction. Repeat Parshvamayurasana on the other side, visualizing yourself as a peacock as you balance on your hands again.
Majuram dandavat kuryan majuram dandanamakam.
Next up is Bhairaganathasana. Now keep your hands flat on the ground, your legs extended back into a plank position as you step one foot outside the respective shoulder and in between the two hands. Gaze to your third eye as you visualize yourself as Lord Kala Bhairava, the Lord of Time. Keep breathing in Rechaka Kumbhaka and perform the Mula Bandha.
Asana ko guna piti jai.
Step the front foot back. Bring the other foot outside the shoulder in between the hands. Gaze to your third eye. Visualize yourself as Lord Kala Bhairava as you repeat Bhairaganathasana on the other side.
Asana ko guna piti jai.
The next asana is Unmukha Pitasana. From Tadakshvasana, the plank position, bring your forearms on the ground. As you walk your feet forward, raising your hips, gaze to your third eye and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
भून्यस्तौ जानुनी हस्तौ चतुष्पदम वाङ्मुखम्.
Next up is Vasishthasana. From Tadakshvasana, rotate your body to one side and raise one arm off the ground, pointing towards the sky. As you keep your hips straight, gaze up along the hand and visualize yourself as Sage Vasishta.
ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटवासिष्ठमरीचिहलमत्स्यकम्.
Twist your body in the other direction. Raise the other arm up. Repeat Vasishthasana on the other side.
ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटवासिष्ठमरीचिहलमत्स्यकम्.
Come to a seated posture with your legs extended forward, heels on the ground, toes pointing up. Place your hands underneath your buttocks with the palms facing up. As you gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as Lord Hanuman. Engage the Jalandhara Bandha and the Mula Bandha as you internally chant the new japa Maha Sadashivoham in Anjani Asana.
दोवू करके उभय हथेली कोरवारली मैले भेली.
Next up is Paschimottanasana. With your legs extended, lean forward and down from your waist as you hold on to the big toes in Prana Mudra. Bring your chest to the thighs, head to the knees, and engage all three bandhas while visualizing Swamiji in your inner space and breathing in Richaka Kumbhaka, fully exhaling and holding your breath.
जानो परिललाटन्तो पश्चिमं तानमुच्यते.
From the same position, interlock your fingers behind your head. Lean forward and down. Bring your head towards the knee by the strength of your core. Squeeze your body. Engage all three bandhas and visualize Kali in your inner space in Ugrasana.
पाणिभ्यां दृढं धृत्वा जानोपरि शिरोन्यसेत्.
The next asana is Marichi Asana. Sit with your legs extended. Bring one heel to the groin. As you raise your knee, bring one arm around the knee and interlace both fingers behind your head, behind your back. Engage the Mula Bandha and bring your head towards the knee as you visualize yourself as Sage Marichi.
उत्तानपादं क्रोञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
From Marichi Asana, drop the knee to the ground at the side. Keep the heel against the groin and lean forward and down, holding onto the front foot with both hands. Gaze through your nose. Exhale fully in Rechaka Kumbhaka as you hold your breath. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space and engage all three bandhas Mahamudra Bandha in Mahamudrasana.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे.
Now extend the legs forward, bring the other heel to the groin with the knee raised. Lean forward, interlace your fingers behind your back. Repeat Marichi Asana on the other side.
उत्तानपादं क्रोञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
Now drop the knee to the ground, lean forward, hold onto the foot at front. Perform all three bandhas as you repeat Mahamudrasana on the other side.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे.
Next up is Bhadrasana 2. Sit with your soles together in front of your body, heels to the groin, as you hold your feet with both hands. Keep your knees wide. Maintain a straight spine. Gaze through your third eye as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
गुल्फौ तु वृषणस्यादः सीवन्त्याः पार्श्वयोः क्षिपेत्.
Next up is Kvali Pavasana. From Bhadrasana, extend your feet away from the body. Keep the toes together, heels apart. Place your hands on the knees as you tuck your chin to the chest and gaze towards your nose while visualizing Swamiji in your inner space.
पूर्वचर्पट चौक कख्यो सोई वाही विधि जो कीजे सोई.
Next up is Joni Asana. As you sit and keep the soles of the feet together, heels close to the perineum. Hold the soles of the feet and lean forward and down as you bring your forehead to the feet, gazing to the nose as you visualize the Yoni Mandala.
दोवू पगदली संपुट करे एडी मेड के ढिंग दरे.
The next asana is Midaki Pavasana. Sit and keep the heels together, toes apart, knees open wide, feet stretched out. As you bring your forehead to the ground behind your heels, extend your arms out wide and bring your palms to the ground. Gaze to the nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
पूर्व विधि परिपकदली संपुट शोल एडी मिली राशे.
Next up is Siddhasa Madhi Asana. Sit and keep the toes together, heels apart. Bring your arms below the shins and extend them out as you keep the palms facing up. Bring your forehead to the ground above the feet. Bring your toes to the throat if you can. Gaze to the nose and visualize Lord Surya in your inner space.
वो पगदली संपुट करे सोले मेड आगा में धरे.
Next up is Chinaki Pavasana. Now sit and keep the heels together, toes apart. Hold the feet and open them up as you bring the soles towards the sky and the back of the hands onto the ground. Place your elbows on the thighs and push the knees down as you gaze to the nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दोवू पका की एडी धरती मग्गवा मेढ़ लगावे.
Next up is Chadapata Chukasana. Now sit, bring the soles of the feet together, heels at the perineum. Place your hands on the knees and gently push them down. Pull your stomach in and up, gaze to your third eye as you visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
दोवू पगदली संपुट धारे आगा ने कर जा रे बसारे.
The next asana is Bhairavasana. Now sit and bring the soles of the feet together with the knees open wide as you lift the heels up and bring the toes down to the ground in this intense stretch. Keep your knees on the ground as you pull your stomach in and up and place your hands on top of the knees in Bindu Mudra. Gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as Lord Kala Bhairava in Bhairavasana.
गुल्फौ संबीड जान्योन्यं व्युत्क्रमेणोत्थित अंशनैः.
Next up is Samasana. Sit with one heel at the perineum and lift and hold the other foot, pressing the sole of the foot to your chest. Gaze to your third eye, perform the Mula Bandha as you exhale fully into Dechaka Kumbhaka and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
मानासनमावक्षे सिद्धमन्त्रादि साधनात्.
Next up is Apanasana. As you sit and place one leg on top of the respective shoulder, raise the other foot upwards and straight. Keep your hands on the ground to the sides. As you gaze to your third eye, visualize Swamiji in your inner space and perform the Mula Bandha.
केवलं पादमेकं च स्कन्धे चारोपि यत्नतः.
Now repeat Samanasana on the other side. Press the other heel against the perineum and lift the opposite foot towards your chest.
समानासनमावक्षे सिद्धमन्त्रादि साधनात्.
Now repeat Apanasana, raising the other leg over top of the shoulder with the opposite leg extended straight up, visualizing Swamiji in your inner space.
केवलं पादमेकं च स्कन्धे चारोपि यत्नतः.
Next up is Gomukhasana. As you sit and cross one leg over the other, align your knees at the center of your body. Keep the heels at the outside of the hips. As you gaze to the nose and visualize the face of a cow, start breathing in Sitkari Kumbhaka, hissing through your teeth as you keep the tongue pressed against the palate of the mouth, without touching the teeth from the inside. Contract the perineal region and internally chant the new japa, Om Nithyanandoham.
सव्ये दक्षिणगुल्फं तु पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत्.
From Gomukhasana, hold onto the feet, hold onto the big toes in Pranayama Mudra. As you gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as Rishika Anasuya and perform Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha in Anasuyasana.
दक्षिण को नीचे उठाने, बाहों तागे ऊपर आने.
From Anasuyasana, interlace your fingers behind your back in Parusha Mudra as you bring your chin over top of the knee and your nose to the ground if you can. Perform Anasuyasana too.
जीमणा गोदा की संधि, उपरिड़ा भागोड़ा की संधि.
Next up is Garudasana too. As you sit on the ground, bring one heel against the perineum, the other foot flat in front with the knee raised. Bring your hands on top of the respective knees. Gaze to the nose and visualize yourself as Lord Garuda as you perform the Mula Bandha.
डाबो पगमोड़ी एडी माहिलो गुल्फमूल द्वारनी चाहिए.
From Garudasana too, raise your perineum onto the heel of the foot which is flat on the ground. Interlock your fingers behind your neck in Padusha Mudra and twist your elbows outside of the raised knee. As you visualize yourself as Echinadata, and don't forget to breathe in Siddhkari Kumbhaka in Narudasana.
पिष्टु जो वाम पगदरी केरी भूपरी ताहि लगावे फेरी.
The next asana is Matsya Pitakasana. Now place one foot at the top of the opposite thigh. Wrap the respective arm around the knee as you hold onto the opposite shin. Extend the other hand forward, hold onto the big toe of that foot in Prana Mudra. Gaze to the nose and visualize Matsya, the fish avatar of Vishnu, in Matsya Pitakasana.
वामे नवामांगुष्टंतु गृहीतमच्च पीठकम्.
Now stack your knees with the other knee on top, heels at the opposite hips. As you repeat Gomukhasana on the other side, visualize the face of a cow and perform the Mula Bandha.
सव्ये दक्षिण गुल्फं तु पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत्.
Now hold onto the big toes and gaze to your nose, visualizing yourself as Rishika Anasuya in Anasuyasana on the other side.
दक्षिण गोड़ों नीचे उठाने, बाहों तागे ऊपर आने.
Now interlace your fingers behind your back and lean forward and down, chin over the knee and nose to the ground if you can. Repeat Anasuyasana too.
जीमणा गोदा की संधि, उपरिड़ा भागोड़ा की संधि.
Now sit with the other heel against the perineum, opposite knee raised, foot flat, hands on the knees, visualizing yourself as Lord Garuda with your wings spread wide. Repeat Garudasana too.
डाबो पगमोड़ी एडी माहिलो गुल्फमूल द्वारनी चाहिए.
Now raise your perineum onto the heel, interlace your fingers behind your back, behind your neck, and twist your elbows outside of the raised knee, repeating Naradasana on the other side.
पिष्टि जो वाम पगदली केरी भूपरी ताहि लगावे फेरी.
Now bring the other foot on top of the opposite thigh, hold onto the shin and the big toe in Prana Mudra, while visualizing Matsya, the fish avatar of Vishnu, in Matsya Pitakasana on the other side.
वामे नवामांगुष्टंतो गृहीतमच्च पीठकम्.
Next up is Matsyendrasana. Now place one foot on top of the opposite thigh and place the other foot flat on the ground, or stack it over your knee if you can. Then twist one elbow outside of the raised knee. Hold your neck with a raised arm. Place the other hand on the ground behind you as you twist your body. Gaze up towards your third eye and visualize Matsyendranath, the great sage and master of Hatha Yoga.
आसन को गुण पीती जाई.
The next asana is Kubasana. From Matsyendrasana, extend the front arm down towards the foot. Hold the big toe in Prana Mudra if you can. Then place the other hand at the ear. Gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as a camel in Kubasana.
आसन को गुण झोल हो जाए.
The next asana is Matsyendrasana too. Maintain the front arm down to the foot as you place your back hand down to the ground. Twist your body even further as you gaze to your third eye and visualize in Matsyendrasana too.
मत्स्येन्द्र बीडम जठर प्रदीप्तिम प्रचंड रुक्मंडल खंडनास्त्रम.
Now bring the other foot on top of the opposite thigh and twist your elbow outside of the raised knee as you repeat Matsyendrasana on the other side.
उदरं पश्चिमाभासं कृत्वा तिष्ठति यत्नतः.
Now repeat Kubasana on the other side by extending your hand down to the foot, the other hand towards the ear, visualizing yourself as a camel.
आसन को गुण झोल हो जाए.
Now repeat Matsyendrasana 2. Place the back hand down to the ground. Visualize Matsyendranath as you twist your body even further.
मत्स्येन्द्र बीडम जठर प्रदीप्तिम प्रचंड रुक्मंडल खंडनास्त्रम.
The next asana is Padmasana. Now sit and place your feet on top of the opposite thighs as you place your palms on the respective knees. Engage all the bandhas. Gaze to the nose as you visualize yourself as Lord Shiva. Perform the Sitali Kumbhaka, hissing through your teeth while pressing your tongue against the back of the teeth. Engage all the bandhas Mahamudra Bandha and internally chant the new japa Om Nithyananda Mahasada.
आसनं द्विधं प्रोक्तं पद्मं वज्रासनं तथा.
Next up is Padmasana 2. From Padmasana, cross your hands in front of your body and hold onto the big toes in Prana Mudra with index and middle fingers. Now gaze to the nose as you visualize yourself as Goddess Parvati, the consort of Shiva. Breathing in Sitali Kumbhaka, engaging the Mula Bandha in Padmasana 2.
उत्तान चरणौ कृत्वा ऊरु संस्थो प्रयत्नतः.
Next up is Kukutasana. As you sit in Padmasana, bring your hands in between the knees. As you place your hands flat on the ground, raise your body off the mat and visualize yourself as a rooster. Breathe calmly through your nose in Sahajra Kumbhaka and perform the Mula Bandha in Kukutasana.
पद्मासनं सुसंस्थाप्य नान्वोरोरन्तरे करो.
The next asana is Baddha Keki Asana. From Padmasana, rise up onto your knees and place your palms on the ground with the fingers pointing backwards. Keep your elbows at the navel region, lean forward and down, balance on your elbows as you raise your knees off the ground, visualizing Swamiji in your inner space. The next asana is Mayurasana. While on the knees, place your palms on the ground, fingers pointing towards your body. Keep your elbows at the navel, lean forward, find balance, and extend your legs up off the ground straight. While visualizing yourself as a peacock, perform the Mula Bandha in Mayurasana.
अथ वक्षे महादेव मयूरासनम् उत्तमम्.
Now lower your body flat on the mat with the toes pointing outwards, hands interlocked behind your neck. Visualize yourself as a crocodile as you perform the Mula Bandha in Makarasana.
अध्यास चेते हृदय निधाय भूमौ च पादौ च प्रसार्यमानो.
As you lay on your back, place your hands on the ground beside your chest. Raise your legs up. Bring the thighs off the ground. Visualize yourself as a locust. Engage the Mula Bandha in Shalabhasana.
अध्यास चेते करयुग्म वक्षो भूमिमोष्टभ्य करयो सलाभ्याम.
Next up is Ushtrasana. Now lay down on your stomach. Bring your hands to the feet. Pull the feet down towards the ground outside of your hips, as close to the ground as possible, as you visualize yourself as a camel.
अध्यास चेते पदयुग्म व्यस्तं पृष्ठे निधायापि धृतं कराभ्याम.
Next up is Dhanurasana. Still holding onto the feet, kick your legs back and up while you raise your upper body off the ground. Gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as Lord Shiva's bow, Pinaka, as you perform the Mula Bandha.
सारे पादौ भुवि दण्डरूपौ करोतु पृष्ठे धृतपादयुग्मम्.
The next asana is Bhagasana. Now come to a kneeling posture as you sit in between the heels with the toes touching behind your back. Keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Place your palms on top of your thighs as you gaze to your third eye. Visualize Swamiji in your inner space and internally chant the new japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
उल्टा मोड़ी पादौ वैसे बहुरो जुगति करे एक ऐसे.
The next asana is Gohi Asana. Another inverted posture, so protect your neck. From the knees, place your forearms on the ground, elbows shoulder width apart. Interlock your fingers and place the top of your head onto the ground, holding your back with the back of your head with your hands. Walk your toes forward until your hips align with the shoulders, and then lift your legs up with the knees bent. Tuck your knees to the chest. Pull them close. Try to touch your chin with your knees. As you squeeze your body, gaze to the nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space in Gohi Asana.
दो हाथ की कहुनी जोई पुण्य कलाई जाने दोई.
Next up is Shirshasana. From Gohi Asana, extend your legs up straight. Balance in this position as you gaze to the nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space.
शीशे शीशा धरती टेगी पकड़ो वो मिलवाओ चाकू करे.
Gently lower your legs down and come to a seated position. We are going to enter a sequence of rapid exhalations in Bhastrika Kumbhaka as you contract your abdomen and push the air out again and again. Don't inhale actively. Let the air flow into your lungs naturally. As you sit with your hands behind your calves, stretch your legs up, bring the forehead to the knees and come to a vertical position with your legs while visualizing Swamiji in your inner space in Podhyasana.
दो हाथ पग बाहर आने घोड़ा तरे कागज उठाने.
Keep the legs extended forward and bring your hands behind your back, holding onto the opposite shoulders as you gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as a mace in Parighasana.
उत्तान शयनं कृत्वा पादौ मिलित्वा प्रसार्य.
With the legs extended up, bring your hands pointing forward, arms parallel to the ground or the elbows to the ground if necessary. Gaze to your third eye and visualize yourself as a boat in Naukasana.
उत्तान शयनं गुरुपराभ्यां भूमियोष्टभ्याम्.
Now with the feet raised off the ground, pull the heels towards your chest with your hands. As you gaze to the nose, visualize yourself as Lord Rudra and still breathe in Bhastrika Kumbhaka in Rudrasana.
पगतले संपूर्ण करी हाथस्य पग ऊंचाई.
Now breathe calmly, relax. Lay on your back with the knees raised, feet flat on the ground. Place your hands down with the palms down, fingers just touching the back of your heels. And then raise your hips up. Push your hips. Contract the perineal region and tuck your chin to the chest as you perform Mudra Kumbhaka, forcing the air out through the throat lock, Jalanirabandha. This brings about a state of swooning. Gaze to the nose and visualize Swamiji in your inner space in Unmukha Pittasana too.
ऊर्ध्वे च जानुनी कृत्वा शवित्वोर्ध्वमुखं तथा उत्थाप्य हस्तो तिष्ठेतु पीठ उन्मुख नामके.
Now lay down flat on the mat with the palms next to your body, facing up. Once more, contract the perineal region. Pull the Kundalini Shakti forcefully up along your spine from Muladhara to Brahmarandra in Shakti Chalan Mudra. Relax. Visualize your body is dead and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, is liberating you. As you internally chant the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivam in Shivasana.
उत्तानं शववद्भूमौ शयनं तु शवासनं शवासनं श्रान्तिहरं चित्तविश्रान्तिकारकम्.
Now slowly return to your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles, your elbows and your knees. Pull the knees up towards your chest and circle them with your hands as you rock your body from side to side. And slowly come back to a comfortable seated position. Congratulations, you completed the Prathama Vignyasa Krama 108 asana sequence as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are now going to conclude today's Nithyananda Yoga session. So let us all sit straight with our head, neck and spine in a straight line. Hands in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart center. Let's close our eyes, take a deep breath. Visualize Swamiji as we chant the